Latin American countries will be holding an emergency meeting to create a unified plan to try to resist, stand up, and or respond to Donald Trump's threats, Donald Trump's erratic behavior, and the fact that Donald Trump has made it clear that the United States is not a friend anymore. President Castro from Honduras is the leader of an organization that includes Latin American countries as well as Caribbean countries, and they're having this meeting specifically in response to what Donald Trump did with Colombia, where he threatened to impose 50% tariffs on Colombia unless they allowed military jets to be used to deport Colombians into Colombia. Colombia was like, no. And then Donald Trump declared a victory anyway, even though they basically went back to what the status quo was. In any event, it's having a serious impact on the market nonetheless, because the market abhors chaos. And chaos in the market is injected by Trump constantly just threatening everybody with tariffs. So let's take a look at what's happening with this emergency meeting. Migration and Latin American and Caribbean unity against the United States are some of the most important topics. This is the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States. CELAC has called an emergency meeting of member states after the tariff standoff between the United States and the country of Colombia over the weekend. Migration and Latin American and Caribbean unity are two of the three topics listed on the agenda, the other one being the environment. The meeting was called by Honduran President Castro, the bloc's current holder of the rotational presidency. It will take place in just a few days on Thursday of this week. And Castro already confirmed that Colombian President Gustavo Petro, who had requested the meeting, will take part in it as well. You see right here the announcement, quote, "I will personally head to Honduras to help in the meeting of Latin American presidents. It hasn't been informed yet, but I will take the presidency of the CELAC in a matter of weeks," Petro said in a post on Sunday. It goes on to talk about how Brazilian President Luiz Lula da Silva, President Lula, also is complaining about Donald Trump's treatment of Brazilian migrants who showed up in Brazil in shackles, being treated subhumanly, which just pissed off all of the Brazilians. Quote, "A request for explanation will be submitted to the U.S. government about the degrading treatment of flight passengers. Brazilian flight passengers were subjected to, quote, not even a dog deserved to be treated like this." One of the Brazilian individuals who was deported said, "I spent 50 hours in handcuffs without proper meals. I haven't showered in 5 days." And so this meeting is taking place. Now, this also comes as you have President Sheinbaum, the very popular president of Mexico, with an 80% approval rating. She's told the Trump administration in no uncertain terms, do not send military planes into Mexico. And if you tariff Mexico, we will make you feel pain in America. President Sheinbaum has also called on Latin American unity. She's called on respecting the sovereignty of nations like Panama. Just a reminder, as Donald Trump has threatened to conquer Panama, this is what President Sheinbaum said. Let's play the clip right here.
Ahora, ayer también se refirió al tema de Panamá, y ahí sí nuestra solidaridad con el presidente de Panamá, que salió muy rápidamente a decir el canal de Panamá es de los panameños, y en efecto el canal de Panamá es de los panameños. Entonces ahí sí nuestra solidaridad, nuestro apoyo al presidente de Panamá, al pueblo de Panamá.
Now folks, as all of this is going on, who is the beneficiary? Who is the recipient of who's benefiting from this? It is Xi Jinping, it is China, who has been cultivating relationships, whether they are formally part of the BRICS bloc, which consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, or not. They're making a compelling case to these countries, whether it's even Mexico, Central America, South America, to join the BRICS bloc and to join forces with China. Just take a look at some of these photographs that I want to share with you. You see what's been going on behind the scenes. China has been preparing for this moment. Here's a photo of Xi Jinping and President Lula of Brazil. Here's Honduran President Xiomara Castro with Xi Jinping. They signed 17 cooperation agreements on China's Belt and Road Initiative, economy, trade, inspection, quality, agriculture, science, technology, and education. Here is Xi Jinping with Colombia's President Gustavo Petro at a state visit. Right over here, more photos. This is China with the leader of Panama in 2018 during Trump administration 1, where China established formal diplomatic relations with Panama. Panama rejected its relations with Taiwan. That was during the first very weak Trump administration. Here's Xi Jinping and Peruvian President Boluarte. This is them at a state visit. You see them here again, the Peruvian president. Here is the president of Uruguay, Luis Alberto Lacalle, just arriving in Beijing for a state visit as well. And Claudia Sheinbaum recently posed for a photo, November 2024, after the election, when Trump was saying all this crazy stuff right after the election. Well, all he does is say crazy stuff. She was not supposed to meet with Xi Jinping at the G20 summit, but she ended up meeting with him and being photographed. That was done very intentionally, in my opinion, to send a message to Latin American countries, Caribbean countries, and most importantly to the United States, that if you're going to screw us over, we're going to turn towards China. You see that photo right there. The Chinese government's been putting out statements like this. As an ancient Chinese saying goes, bringing benefit to the people is the fundamental principle of governance. There is also a Peruvian saying, quote, the voice of the people is the voice of God. Both China and Peru are striving for a better life of the people. As Donald Trump was attacking Colombia, and people like Matt Gaetz, who were in the MAGA inner circle, were attacking Colombia, you had Zhu Jingyang, Chinese ambassador to Colombia, putting out statements like this. In my interview, I emphasized that, as Foreign Minister Murillo said during his visit to China in October last year, we are at the best moment of our diplomatic relations between China and Colombia, which are now 45 years old. And recently, New York Times wrote about this, but this was over the past week. Honduras has said it will get closer to China as Donald Trump continues these mass deportations. It will turn and strengthen its ties to China. So China is the one who's benefiting from this all. And I think that's going to be a major discussion at this emergency meeting that's taking place. And then you've got bad actors like Venezuela who are stepping into the fray. And here you have Nicolas Maduro, the leader of Venezuela, who shouldn't be the leader, who actually lost in the last election, but is improperly staying in power as the real president. President Biden invited the real president into the Oval Office. But even Maduro saying, look, maybe we should join forces with Brazil, and maybe we conquer Puerto Rico and we take Puerto Rico for Venezuela, because if Trump's talking about Greenland, maybe we want Puerto Rico. This is the type of chaos and havoc Donald Trump is unleashing and has unleashed in a very short period of time, as Trump talks about conquering Panama, this country, that country. Listen to what Maduro has to say here. Let's play it.
Así como en el norte tienen una agenda de colonización, nosotros tenemos una agenda de liberación. Y la agenda nos la escribió Simón Bolívar. Está pendiente la libertad de Puerto Rico y la lograremos, Brennan, con las tropas de Brasil. Y Abreu de Lima irá al frente. Batallón Abreu de Lima para liberar Puerto Rico. ¿Qué te parece? ¿Ah?
So what does Donald Trump do on Monday in response to DeepSeek, the AI, the China AI, which has obliterated many American technology companies and their AI investments of billions and billions of dollars? Everything Trump touches dies. Remember, he had the AI bros in the Oval Office. I mean, Trump's such an idiot that he goes and says, He likes DeepSeek. He thinks it's going to be very good for American companies. Okay, it's the opposite. But that's Donald Trump's gaslighting and lying. When something's horrible, he goes, oh, this is great. This is what we want. He did the same thing with COVID. Like a miracle, it's all just going to go away. Just the biggest liar ever. But then what Trump does is then he announces that he's going to tariff Taiwan, our ally. He says he's going to tariff their semiconductor industry in response to DeepSeek, the Chinese company. So Trump's going to go after Taiwan, our ally, who depends on us to protect them from China. And he's going to then crush American technology companies even more with these threats. That's after threatening Colombia, which, has led to our gas prices going up here, coffee prices going up already. Here, listen to what he says. Play this clip.
In particular, in the very near future, we're going to be placing tariffs on foreign production of computer chips, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals to return production of these essential goods to the United States of America. They left us and they went to Taiwan, which is about 98% of the chip business, by the way. And we want them to come back. And we don't want to give them billions of dollars like this ridiculous program that Biden has. Give everybody billions of dollars. They already have billions of dollars. They've got nothing but money, Joe. They didn't need money. They needed an incentive. And the incentive is going to be they're not going to want to pay a 25, 50, or even 100% tax. They're going to build their factory with their own money. We don't have to give them money. They're going to come in because it's good for them to come in. They're giving them money. They don't even know what they're going to do with it. I had people tell me, we have no idea. We didn't need money.
So, folks, all of this is going to be discussed at this emergency meeting. But America in such a short period of time has now lost, really, literally, in a week, we've lost our standing in the world. America has no friends anymore. Zero friends. When Donald Trump says the world is laughing at us, it's partially true. Our enemies are laughing at us. Our allies are horrified about what's taking place. We'll keep reporting this every step of the way here in the MeidasTouch Network. So hit subscribe. We want to get to 4 million subscribers. Can you help us get there? It's free to subscribe. We need you now more than ever. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.